Welcome back. I am Johnny B. Good, the flip-flop agent, joined with my squeaky chair today. I stole this out of my kid's room, and I don't know if it's just karma getting back at me, but every time I shift my butt one way or the other, this thing decides to make some noise. So pardon me. I promise it's not a bodily function. It's a mechanical issue here at the office.
Well, I will say it's probably made for a child's butt and a man's butt. So
that's fine.
And it looks like a gaming chair.
It is a gaming chair.
Yeah.
And I'm with my 3 monitors here in the office. I mean, it's very extravagant.
Yes.
I do look like I'm doing some type of hacker-esque work, working for Anonymous. And that is not the case. That is not the case.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just a dude playing another dude, editing a podcast every now and again.
That's right.
So, Travis, welcome back to the podcast studio, my friend. How you doing, bud?
Good. I know we've been away for a little bit, but I know we've been busy with kids sports. And
tell you what, fall is just cranking, and we're not exactly sure when this episode's going to air, but today it actually feels like fall.
It does.
It's a little crisp in the air.
It makes me more ready for football. I went to my son's football game yesterday, and it was like 85 degrees. And I'm like, this is not football.
This is not
for
football.
me.
But today feels like football. It was a little misty, a little crappy out. I'm like, okay. This feels like Michigan. Now Michigan's back. Welcome to fall, baby.
And we're getting back in the groove of things here just for us. Right. And we take our little breaks, we get busy, and it's good to be back on the podcast again.
Always. And if you want to talk football, shameless plug for one of my other shows, Incredibly Uncensored. We're doing a Lions podcast episode every week, celebrating Victory Mondays.
Oh man, and that was a good victory. It was a close one, but
it was. So we're gonna stay on that.
We will,
but definitely listen to that if you have an opportunity. But maybe don't let your mom listen. It's not very appropriate for.
And that was not a paid for by advertisement. It was Johnny,
but it could be.
Johnny just sharing. Yeah,
that's right. Well, today I'm so excited to welcome Mr. Jason Ford onto the podcast. Jason, I apologize you had to listen to us ramble there. How you doing today, my friend?
Fantastic. Football's in the air, like you guys were saying, so it's going to be a good fall.
Well,
great fall.
And I feel like if you're going to go someplace to watch all the football games, whether it's Davison, college, or NFL, Cottage Inn Pizza and Pub is the place to go. When I've stopped by and grabbed food, it's on every TV there to watch it. So I think, Jason, you got some good stuff already going on there just for the atmosphere. I feel like over at Cottage Inn.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we have 18 TVs total. We try to air every football game that we can. We try to play every sport we can. We do Firebirds. We do all the Davison athletics that we can get on. Any baseball. We do everything.
You guys do the Firebirds.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome, because it's not always convenient for me to be able to get out and take the kids to a game, and it gets a little expensive.
Oh, it does.
Go to the game and get all the snacks and all the stuff. But if the kids have to eat dinner anyway, and they're those type of kids like Dad, we need dinner every day. I get it, but that would be good to know. That's great to know, actually. So you guys you preview all the OHL games then?
Yes, any game that we can get, we will get. So MLB Network, with the way the football worked with it on 50 different platforms now. We do try to get all those. We try to get everything we can. So if you're ever in there and you want to watch a sporting event, if it's able to be gotten, we will get it.
Nice.
That's awesome. Well, and I love that he's wearing the Detroit Lions hat.
You got the Lions hat.
Like we are
very good one too. This is a good one.
Oh, it's a beautiful one. Beautiful one. Like that classic ice white.
Yes.
Yeah, Detroit Lions, baby. But this is not our football podcast.
This is not. No.
Well, we'll have Jason on for another episode.
I think that'd be a good one.
That's good stuff for sure. But I mean, we want to have a good conversation with you today. So we're just going to we've got a few questions, but we're going to just let the conversation take us where it goes, and, just enjoy learning about you, learning about your business. And it's amazing the things you're doing in the community that we're so appreciative of. And we want the rest of the community to be aware of that as well, if they haven't had a chance to make it out to any of your stuff.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. I think we've gotten to know Jason really well through chamber activity, but we've also started seeing it through other areas in the community that you're really involved with. But Jason, one of the big questions I think a lot of people want to ask or want to know about is what inspired you to open up Cottage Inn Pizza and Pub in Davison, and what made you choose the location you're at?
Well, Davison's always been kind of a target place for me. I'm from Corona, small town. Worked at Cottage Inn corporate for a long time, met Kevin Gordon, who owns Grand Blanc, and Davison's really close to him. We decided to partner up and do this. I don't see a reason not to be in Davison. A lot of good things going on in Davison. I think the only thing we could really use is some more stuff for the kids to do.
Mhm.
I know the Journeyman down the road here; those guys do a good job of getting people involved. The Hub does a great job. We're trying to just be involved in that kind of. We do the trunk or treat and the car shows. That's all free. We try to do the dine and donates to get people in there. Again, with all the athletics, high school athletics, we'll put on the TVs, all the sports. We try to get people involved and try to make things free. Our car shows are huge; they're completely free. People are blown away by that. Like, what's the
Oh yeah.
registration? It's absolutely nothing. The trunk or treat's the same way. We get friends and fellow businesses to get involved. Even the community. We had a lot of trunks last year. We had probably 8 of them that were just regular people out the street that wanted to put a trunk together, and they did. So
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah,
That's amazing to
it
see
really
that
is.
type of community buy-in.
It really is. And I mean, for being someone like myself who moved here, oh gosh, 18 years ago, I'm still learning more and more what our community does to get involved. And it's amazing. And I think your Cottage Inn's an amazing example of you're organizing all these events and the community has started just showing up. I mean, your car shows, I've been able to make it to a few of them, and I don't know cars, but I love looking at them, and I'm fascinated to talk to the guys that work on them just to kind of hear their history and like
Mhm.
what their passion is. And you found a niche that was really needed, I think, in our community. And one, I mean, as a business owner, it's probably a smart move because your business is there, but yet I think your main focus is just offering something, your trunk or treat. You're offering it to the community just for a good, safe place to go. You have a great parking lot for it. But then you also, I feel like you get the surrounding businesses in your shopping center there off of Lapeer Road involved. I mean, I know like the guys that do the kind of off-road vehicles. I've seen them pop over and set up displays for the car shows. So you do. I think the Davison community, you mentioned that it was a good idea for you to be here, but I think for us residents, it's great having you here just because of that level of excitement you're bringing, whether it's offering sports inside the watch for families or
Well, and
it's
let me ask you
yeah.
this as it relates to the car show specifically, because that was kind of on my mind. I didn't get a chance to make it out there, but I saw a lot of the pictures. I saw a lot of the posts for you guys and then community members posting about it as well, which I thought was fantastic. How did you really find somebody that could spearhead that for you? Or were you the one that went out and you made the contacts, you orchestrated it? Give us a little background on how you set that up.
It started out kind of slow, not gonna lie.
Sure.
2 years ago when we started doing it, we were doing it every week, and it was tough. It not really necessarily from a business aspect. Like I said, I'm more into the community than I am the whole business relationship of it. So
Sure.
it was kind of tough the first year because we had the same 15 guys show up, but that was it. So it was kind of like, I feel bad for the 15 people that did show up or the handful of people
Sure.
that in the community that came through and it was like, oh, this is it. And I was like, yeah, this is what we're doing. So
Spread the word, baby.
yeah.
We're doing the best we
Yep.
can.
That's right.
So we
Yep.
spread the word. We got things going. Last year it was a little bit better. We were kind of hit and miss. We did like a off-road night and then like a car show night, and it seemed like every month one would hit and the other one would miss.
Okay.
This year the first 2 rained out on us, which was tough. But the other 3 we did have a lot more fun. Got a lot more involved with some of the groups. And first show I think we had 115. Second we had about
Wow.
100, and then the third one we were at about 100 again.
Wow. That's
Which
amazing.
That's
it's definitely
great.
good. It made us make the decision that next year we're going to go every Thursday of the month, from May through September. So instead of it
I
being
love
once a
that.
month, we will do once a week, every week.
Well, and I think to that end, automotive stuff for those of us that grew up in the area. I know that Travis, you're a transplant.
Yep.
But you grew up, in Genesee County. I grew up in Lapeer County, but I mean, we all have relatives, friends, aunts, uncles, whomever, that were involved in the automotive business, right? And so it's like in our DNA. And I don't know what it's like across the nation. Maybe other places do lots of car shows and stuff. But here specifically in Genesee County, it's like, holy cow, man. Everybody, your uncle's got an SS,
Yes.
somebody's got a Camaro, somebody's got a Chevelle, somebody's got, something that might even be a little bit newer. But whatever it is, there's a lot of passion in that automotive community. And so I give you a lot of credit with that first year being tough. But then that second year, oh, hey, we're getting a little bit of traction. And now, going into year 3, it's really going to be a banger, which I think is
Absolutely.
great.
Yeah, and another big thing that kind of developed it, the car scene is going to change. I mean, these cars, a lot of our relatives and our will have classic cars,
Mhm.
Mustangs and Camaros, but it takes one generation for those to die off.
Sure.
One generation for a grandfather or a father hand down to a kid or a person that doesn't care for the car as much.
Sure.
It kind of fades out. So the biggest thing with our car shows, we had a lot of trucks come out,
Okay.
which is cool. probably 15 Jeeps each time.
Nice.
Probably 10 to 15 trucks each time, and then, a handful of sports cars, or there's a couple of Mazdas that race around town here. Those
Okay.
guys came through. Mostly classic for sure.
Yep.
But it definitely putting the mix in is definitely something different. Handful of motorcycles. I think it's funny that some of these guys that have the the 60s Mustangs and stuff, the Camaros, they came over to these just, for lack of a better word, monster trucks, these show trucks.
Right.
And, you can tell it's not their cup of tea, but they look at it, they're like, I respect that. Even though I
Yeah.
don't like it, I respect it. And it's funny because those truck guys will go right over to their cars. They're like, whoa. So, like you said, it's kind of one of those things where it's automotive enthusiasts at this point more than a classic car situation.
Sure. Well, and I love how welcoming that is, because like if I bring my kids up there, and I've got a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, and 2 8-year-olds, they're going to want to see everything. They want to see the entire spectrum of, four-wheeled vehicles, whether it's trucks, race cars, sports cars, classic cars, old Durants, stuff like that. They like to see all of that.
Yeah.
So it's cool that you can make it, very welcoming and very broad based for everybody. I think that's fantastic.
No, it is. I agree. I mean, and you mentioned I come from down south. I think growing up, I don't ever remember seeing a car show. Maybe like the state fair, they would have like something going on,
Right.
but it was.
I feel like we take that for granted a little bit because of the frequency with which we see them, with like Back to the Bricks and the Dream Cruise.
Well, and I think it's the passion of people. I mean, we have a good family friend. I mean, he started, I think he built, to be honest, I'm horrible with years, like that, but an old classic truck, built it from everything up, all rust, drove it around. His goal was to drive it for Back to the Bricks, drove it on that one year, then he sold it, then he started another one.
Wow.
Right away, just because I see that up here, that people have that
I wish I
passion.
had a time for a hobby.
Oh my God. Well, he's also retired.
Okay.
Yeah, that helps. But Jason, I think you're right though. I noticed when I've gone to some of your like the car shows that you see those guys, it's like mutual respect. Like they recognize, I think, the excitement and the passion. And I think you have found a niche for that here in Davison that, I mean, not only from Davison, but I'm sure you're drawing in from other communities with people bringing their cars in. And I think that's the good thing about what Cottage Inn is doing is you're not just about what's right here, but bringing everybody together. And I think that's what I've learned about Davison is everybody finds something they're interested in, but they're always willing to step up and help someone or be interested in what's going on. And I think that's what you've really, Cottage Inn, I think, has become a good place for that in the spacing. And it's easy to find. I mean, you guys are right there on Lapeer Road, so you're going to drive past and see all these cool cars or see a trunk or treat going on. So I think we've kind of built into that kind of general question, Jason, is the community engagement side of Cottage Inn. When you started the franchise here in Davison, did you see it growing into as much as of community involvement as when you first bought it? Other than, okay, I'm going to open up this restaurant. We're going to have live music. We're going to have sports on TV. We're going to have such a huge selection of beers out there for people to come in. You're going to have, community, like the fundraisers and stuff like that for sports teams come in. Did you see that as a long-term goal, or what was your passion behind getting all of these community involvements going? I mean, because you're a busy guy as it is.
So that was kind of the dream to begin with, I would say. We're pizza first, and then, or a restaurant first, and then a bar. Excuse me. And I think that getting the people involved is kind of something you have to do. You can't just, or you can, I rather just kind of sit there and sling food, and that's great. But at the end of the day, I mean, McDonald's is just McDonald's, right? So you can go to McDonald's, you can go to Burger King, you can go to any of these places, no problem. You got to kind of give people a reason to choose you and a reason to be there. Most people are good people. It's just a matter of whether you want to be that engaged and, do those kinds of things. So I would say, yes, the whole goal to begin with was to make the atmosphere really. And it's kind of crazy because our atmosphere is kind of day and night, in very literal terms. During the day, it's a little bright because all the windows. We have all the games on and stuff that we can, or all the sports centers and things of that matter. But at night, the vibe's completely different. It gets a lot more dim. It gets a lot more warm and friendly. The browns are more comforting, stuff like that. So as far as engaging the community, yes, that was the goal from day one. Dine and donates are big for me. Ways to raise money. Davison Parks and Recs, we're trying to help out with that right now. You guys working with us as far as if you got that shirt on, you get 10% donated back. to Parks and Rec. And then we also have a $5 donation option. You can donate in $5 intervals, which is huge. So I think just being involved in that and showing people that you actually do care and actually caring, not just saying it, is kind of a big thing.
Well, yeah. When I think too, like I know we had a conversation before we got started. My daughter is part of the Davison cheer program, and that's a great example. I mean, you have local sports, like high school sports, coming in and talking to you. Like, yes, I feel like it's not one of those things where you sit there like, let me get back to you. I'll talk to you later about it. You jump on board. I mean, we've done it. My daughter's cheered for 2 years and have done it both years.
Well,
and it's been a blast.
And I think one of the most important things to highlight there is that the reason you can do that, and I'm going to jump to conclusions here, is you can do that because the community is also coming in to support you.
Yes.
You know, it's not like people are just coming in asking for a handout.
Nope.
You're actually getting the support from the community as well.
Absolutely. So that's a huge fact there. The community support is obviously the biggest key, right? So we built it, but if people didn't come, then we wouldn't have anything going.
Sure.
Here. So we do have some people that try from just too far away. You know, Clio. If a couple people from Clio come out, Mount Morris, like, hey, can we do a fundraiser? I'm like, I don't. It's really tough. You guys are just so far away.
Sure.
You know,
that's
that's
hard.
just it is. It's next to impossible. At the same time, Trooper Pop, that state trooper that passed away, Birch Run on I-69, we did a fundraiser for the family there, and that was huge.
Right.
It went extremely well. However, police ties, you know, those guys tie pretty deep.
They do.
So they came from Oakland County, they from Saginaw County, Genesee County. So it was a huge event, and I'm all about doing the things. It's hard to do something small far away because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you guys come out and then we raise $50 for you. It's like,
right.
You know, it's just kind of tough.
And there's such a hyper local aspect to that. Again, like you said, and you hit the nail right on the head. You're not turning people away, but you're saying like, there's only so much pull that you have, especially if you're coming from 20, 30, 40 minutes away. You know, we just want to make sure you have a good event. You know, we're going to do the best that we can, but you guys got to bring the people.
Right.
You know, so that's where it comes back to being so hyper local and so fixated on your community and giving back to your community. You take care of them, they take care of you.
Absolutely.
You know, the law of reciprocity.
Well, and the chances are too. I mean, by doing all the stuff locally, you're going to see the people that are coming into your restaurant and that you're helping support at the grocery store. You're going to see them at the car show. You're going to see them when you go to a high school sporting event. Like, it's not one of those ones where you just disappear. Like,
absolutely.
You're going to see them all the time, and then you get that customer base that comes in, and you start getting to know them, and it's becoming friends with people. And I think that's what you guys are about. I feel like every time we've come in to eat or just to grab something to go, it's a good atmosphere that we're always welcome, and I think that's felt good too. To be honest, I love the outdoor seating. I think we don't have a lot of it in Davison area, so when you do get it, it's nice. I know when we ate there the other night after the cheer thing, we were outside.
Absolutely.
It was a good night for it, and it was comfortable, and it's kind of almost like it's secluded. You have a kind of a block off from the road, so you're not seeing all the traffic driving. So it is. You have, I think that passion is there, and I know we appreciate it as parents, especially as kids that are growing up in Davison schools and seeing that.
And there's nothing worse than a kid coming home and be like, "Hey, buy my really crappy, overpriced popcorn." So my class can have $2.
Yeah.
You know, and again, nothing against those fundraisers. They've been around for a very, very, very long time. That's perfectly fine. But I would much rather go out. And again, these doggone kids wanting dinner every night. If I'm going to support something, I'd rather go out and I'd rather support a local business that's willing to put themselves out there and contribute to the community, which I think is super, super important. So as we kind of move forward through this conversation, you know, I'm a former proprietor of much more of a bar than I was a restaurant, but I was in the industry for a number of years. Thank God I'm out. So I have a lot of empathy for you because it is not a business that I want to be involved in, with the exception of walking through the door and getting served food. That's how I want to be involved. I don't want to be on the operation side at all. But I mean, what are some of those challenges that you're facing, you know, in this quote unquote post-COVID world that we're living in, you know, as it relates to owning and operating a franchise business, as far as dealing with employees, as far as dealing with food costs, because we know that's a big hot button issue right now as well. You know, what are some of the challenges you guys are facing?
All right. So some of the challenges, really, especially post COVID. I mean, cost of goods is skyrocketed. We've been able to keep our menu, in my opinion, very affordable. I do not hunt the local restaurants. I do what I can stay as cheap as possible and still be able to take care of people. Biggest thing with the bar industry in general, even our beer and liquor drinks, I feel are extremely fairly priced. A couple of them are a little higher, but that's just the cost of doing business. So the biggest thing I would say is that, food's around 35%, which is kind of crazy. A lot of these industries will try to run like a 27. Pizza World, especially with our extended menu and the alcohol, is a little higher. Labor nowadays, it's tough to find good people. I think that COVID taking away a lot of our service industry workers, allowed them to get different jobs, and they went to factory work or office work or wherever they could have. So a lot of our pool really kind of got sucked out of there, and so it's tough to manage labor as well, because there's only a handful of people out there that are still good. I feel we've landed a lot of them, but you gotta make sure you're taking care of your staff. So the industry is just, it is very tough. Also, it's obviously a competitor's market, so the restaurants around, they will see what we're doing, we'll see what they're doing, and everyone kind of tries to edge each other. So as far as our direct store, I try to combat it. I don't really want to compete with different places, especially in town. I know Mojo's does cornhole and shoes. It's like, I'm not going to touch that. Madden's has the volleyball. I don't have a spot for volleyball anyways. They can have it. Live music, when I came to town, I was one of the only ones doing it because we were just out of COVID. So I have the live music that helps us a lot. I don't see a reason to really compete on people trying to get an edge. It's like the car show situation. If we still had the car show downtown Davison, would I be doing one once a week? No. There's only so much car show to go around. Okay. But with that being an open event, absolutely, I'm going to sneak in there. I'm going to scoop that up. I got the spot for it. I got the staff for it. So it makes it a lot of fun. So I would say the real challenges are just, there's nothing really big. It's all, honestly, it's a bunch of little wars. So every day you go in and you fight your war, and then you just kind of, collect your shecklings and move on for the next day. So
yeah, exactly. Well, and I think as business owners, all of us, it's our job. We're firefighters, right? We got to put out the biggest, hottest fire first, and then we move on to the little ones, and we just keep putting out fires till our day is done, and then we move on to the next day.
Absolutely.
Yep. So I definitely respect the heck out of it, because I've been there, and I'm glad I'm not there currently. So I'm here to promote. I'll promote you. I just don't want anything to do with it. If I never pour another beer in my life, it'll be too soon.
Well, if you pour one at home, I think it's a win, right? So.
Right. Well, and I do see, and you guys are doing a lot of creative stuff with the bar as well. Seeing like correct me if I'm wrong, it's like drink flights.
Yes, our monthly flight, man. That was a very good move for us. So monthly flight, every month we have 4 new cocktails that go on a flight. It's $20 unless it's Friday the 13th. If it's a Friday the 13th, they're $13.
Ooh, I like
which
that.
Is a lot of fun. Yep. Yeah. So we'll add to that as well. But so every month our main bartender, our bar manager, Angel, she'll come up with four drinks between the group here. Usually we do one that's sweet. We try to do one that's a little bitter. We always have one that has like a cream taste. But yeah, that's, I'll tell you what, that's a lot of fun. It's as much fun for you guys to drink as it is for us to make. So.
Well, and I think what I love about that is, and this is just my own personal take on it, it's like the personification of doom scrolling. Like when I'm on TikTok, what I love about it is that, like, oh, I don't want to just drink one drink when I can have four, right? So I can really test my palate. I can try all sorts of new stuff. So for us millennials that have a bunch of ADHD, I'm in it to win it. That's perfect for me.
Absolutely. Well, so right now we use a 10-ounce clear glass. I'm going to switch to some black ones too. Nice. That way the guys can order them, maybe not on the board, and people won't know that, you're doing the pumpkin spice one. So some people want to hide it. I don't know why.
Judgment-free zone.
Yeah,
right?
Judgment-free zone completely.
Love what you love. It's 2024, baby.
Well, and I do love too that you, when I've been there and talked with you about some stuff, and I noticed your like beer selections, there's a lot of seasonal ones too. And, I think it's really funny. One time I came in and you're like, hey, we have this blueberry beer. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
And it was very unique, but I think finding a niche like that has made you guys really stick out in the Davison area, just because you're offering some different ones throughout the year too, that normally you can't find in other places other than walking in and buying something like in bulk.
Well, and that's a great transition into my next question is, knowing that you guys are a franchise, how much latitude, how much leash do they give you to kind of develop your own things? I'm assuming the food's probably pretty structured, but I mean, do you guys have the ability to make new menu items, to get creative with stuff? Are you, give me a little bit of an insight in there as to what you can control as far as the food, the drinks, stuff like that.
Absolutely. So front of the house, anything in front of our brick wall there is what we always call it. Anything in front of the wall there is completely fair game for us.
Okay.
So all the beer, all the alcohol, liquor, all that's fair game. I can do whatever I'd like, which is fantastic. Being with a franchise, a lot of times that wouldn't work. If I was Hungry Howie's franchisee,
right,
they'd be like, no.
Right.
So Cottage Inn, we got like, I don't want to say 57 stores now.
Wow.
Little background on me, not to get off subject, but I was with Cottage Inn. I've been with Cottage Inn since 2005.
Okay.
So I took a 4-year break. But other than that, I mean, it's 2024. So 19 minus 5, 14 years in Cottage Inn. I worked at the corporate office in Ann Arbor for 5.
Yep.
So I know all the people at the corporate office still. I know the owners still. Which makes things a lot easier as well. So
sure,
when we did our layout, there's, just like any other franchise, there's rules and guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted a lot of blue and orange, so I gave them copper with a nice blue ring around the top, and then I went with browns and tans. When one of the franchisees consultants originally came in, he's like, "You're gonna change all this," and I was like, "No, I'm not."
I love this.
So the owner at the time, the Mikos brothers, who originally founded Cottage Inn, they came in and they're like, "This place is amazing. Like, why did you choose this and this? Like, did you and the franchisee consultants work with it?" I was like, "No, this is what I decided to go with. I gave you guys the blue. You got copper for the orange. I got orange booths."
Yep.
He's like, "It's fantastic. Everything's perfect." So as far as what they control, the paper menu you get in the mail, or the paper menu that's on my counter that says Cottage Inn Pizza, those mass print items, those mass production items, that is the Cottage Inn menu. That's it. I cannot touch that.
Okay.
I'm completely on board with that.
Yep.
If you go to Grand Blanc, you should have the same options to an extent that I have.
Sure.
If I were to put in fryers, I wouldn't deep fry the wings. We have oven roasted wings. At the end of the day, you need the same product across the place.
Right.
However, I also have the ability to add new menu items. So, for example, our Carolina nachos or our pulled pork nachos, which you can also have with chicken. They're phenomenal. Same way.
It sounds amazing. I've not tried these.
I've had them.
Oh,
of
my
course.
gosh.
Yeah,
pulled pork, anything.
And you didn't invite me to go with you?
No.
Our pulled pork smoke is fantastic.
I eat like Schmiegel, in the back corner, my precious. Nobody touches my food. It's just me.
Don't even look at it.
Yeah. Look away.
Look away. So we have those. We do a meatball skillet. That does fantastic. That's the same meatballs that go on our pizzas and subs. We made some new skillets with a beer cheese or a pub cheese. I believe it's Fat Tire beer cheese skillets.
Oh, nice.
We also our pretzel sticks. Those are like Davison only specific. Those come with the beer cheese. Bosco sticks we do. That's just Davison only. So
those are delicious.
Anything not on that paper menu is stuff that we have done.
Okay.
Now, obviously, there's a procedure. We test it in the store with the employees, get with corporate, they come in, try it, make sure it's a good quality food, which that's the goal, right? Low quality is no good. So they'll come in and check it out, and then we'll do a test market for a couple weeks, see if the customers like it, and then we go from there.
I love that.
So now, having that been said, that kind of takes away a little bit of the edge of pricing, right? So that makes the pricing go up a little bit because I'm not getting any kind of a discount on buying the product.
Right.
Because it's a one store location thing.
Right. Right. So yeah, you don't have the economies of scale with the more mass produced items that are going out to all the franchisees.
I think
it makes perfect sense.
I think it's great that that corporate allows you all to be creative.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure they want their brand to grow, but they want the owners to also be excited about what they're doing and finding a way to bring in more people. Because to be honest, we have not found Bosco skits anywhere. My wife got them the other day when we went there, and they were delicious. Yes. Yeah, so it was, and I didn't know that you could be that creative with your own. So, but I have only been to your Cottage Inn. I've never been to any other one. So.
We're a one of a kind concept. I want that to be clear right now as well. We are the test market for this concept. That's it. So we're the only Cottage Inn pizza pub.
I like it.
Big Rapids has one on the horizon, it looks like. They're currently working on that. They'll have the same thing, though, as far as they're not necessarily going to take the things that we have. They'll have the freedom to recreate some stuff of their own. So as far as like typical carryout delivery, for the most part, they are, one size fits all. And that's kind of where I went with with the pizza pub. Like, I love Cottage Inn. I know everything about Cottage Inn. I want to do the pizza pub because at the end of the day, I didn't want to wake up and sling dough and sling pizzas and go home. I want to be more involved and have more fun. And at the end of the day, a lobby with a bench for you to pick up your food, I'm not going to be able to have any fun in there.
Right.
As to where, you know, our 2,000 square foot lobby with the TVs, the radio, that makes it a lot more easy. So,
well, and that's how you get to engage with your customers as well. You know, and you wouldn't have the ability to do the things that you're doing to engage with the community without that space.
Right.
You know, so yeah, absolute kudos to you as well. So with the history of Cottage Inn, you said they started in Ann Arbor?
Yes, 1948 in Ann Arbor. The original was downtown. I believe that has recently closed. You know, world changed pretty fast there with COVID. So, originally started in 1948. That's still where the commissary is, right in Ann Arbor, south side, kind of by the airport. And then, like I said, we got I think it's about 57 stores. We got a couple in Ohio, but almost all Michigan. Yep.
Wow. That's amazing to have that type of longevity. I mean, 70 some years, you know, that's pretty doggone good.
Absolutely.
76 years.
Yeah. It's been a while. So
that's
also
fantastic.
we got, so my partner, like I said, owns Grand Blanc. He's on that since 99.
Okay.
Kevin and I are teamed up with a couple friends, and we'll be opening in the Lake Orion, Oxford area in December.
Awesome.
Wow.
So,
well, congratulations.
Just to carry out delivery, but
breaking news on the Community Collective.
You heard it here first, folks.
We're
no one even knows.
We're crushing it, right? Oh, that's exciting though. I mean, and Jason, I know, I mean, it's a lot of responsibility because you're growing and expanding, but I think it seems from some of the stuff you've shared with us, and I think the things we're learning about the creativity and your mission and what your excitement is, that by expanding, it makes sense. And that community is going to be really lucky. I think they have you guys part of them. And I think they're going to be really surprised when they realize how involved Cottage Inn is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which I think is exciting. And if they have questions, they can just come to Davison and visit that one. We'll share with them about that. So what is, I mean, you're starting sharing that vision of expansion. What are some other things that you have plans for? I mean, and are there other, and you don't have to give us exact details, but are there plans for more creative food items that you want to try out? Are there plans to offer something like type of new activity or entertainment?
So the store's up and running a little more, obviously, now than it had been in the future. So it makes it easier to go out and do different creative things. So the trunk or treat, perfect example. We'll be doing that next year. The car show being once a week is going to be a big thing. On the horizon as far as food goes, absolutely. I'm working on a massacholi right now. Our lasagna is amazing. I don't know if you guys have tried it.
I have not.
Our lasagna is very good. Now we're going to do a massacholi as well. We're going to try that out hopefully in the next couple of weeks, depending on when this airs.
Sure.
Maybe it's already there.
Yeah.
Talking in the future. That was weird.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
you got to understand the release cadence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So we'll be doing that. As far as the menu items, it really depends on if we find something else we like, you know.
Okay.
The flight of the month, like I said, once again, the bar. I mean, that's a lot of fun.
Right.
That's kind of where a lot of our focus is, because that's more of a here and now situation.
Right.
Having all that freedom to be like, this is what we're doing. So in October, I know we want to do a pumpkin cocktail. I know we want to do a salted caramel cocktail, and the other two, it's like, we'll find out.
That's fun.
Could be anything.
Yeah.
This is your suit this year. So
yes.
To go hand in hand, though, I mean, to be fair, in my opinion, a lot of the world has shut down. So not only is there fewer trick or treaters, it's tough because there's a lot less porch lights on.
Yeah.
And that's a tough egg to swallow. Coming through, I didn't go to Davison last year. Last year we went down to Grand Blanc. We have mixed families, so Grand Blanc worked the best for us that year. But I know that in certain communities it's just, it's like one house and then skip three.
You do.
Right.
And then one and skip three. When growing up, I mean,
everyone.
Oh my gosh.
We're about the same age. Yeah. It used to be hit three, skip one.
You bring the pillowcase and like it just got full.
Yep. Then you dump it in the truck and act like you're just started.
Yeah, I just started.
I don't have anything.
Don't get any piece out.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and we always had that one person that gave us a banana, and an old lady that always gave us like a penny or a nickel.
Yeah.
And, that was great. Or the guy that
getting Easter eggs and it's rattling coins. I'm like, please be quarters. Please be quarters.
Yes.
Quarters.
Yeah. So I think that's Jason. I think that's the exciting thing that we've covered so much of, and we've interacted with you guys over at Cottage Inn, is just the community involvement, the creativity, which is amazing. but the fact that you're just focused on the community. I mean, you want your business to be successful, but it's all about the community for you guys.
Well, and I think to that end, this is a master course in how you ingratiate yourself into the community, right? Because I mean, prior to you opening this, you didn't have a ton of ties to Davison, I would assume.
I had zero.
So I mean, listen, business owners, if you're listening to this podcast, this is how you do it. You want to see the blueprint, you have to get involved, and you can put your own twist on it. Like you said, whether it's doing drink flights, whether it's having car shows, whether it's doing trunk or treats, whether it's innovating with the menu items. But this is a tried and true blueprint that when you do it the right way with the right intentions, here you go.
That's a great way to say it. Okay. So, and I've talked to a lot of people in the community. I've talked to you about this specifically, Travis, as far as, what are we doing here? The car shows, for example, it's like, and am I going to make a bunch of money on those days? Believe it or not, no, it doesn't really help my revenue that much.
Right.
It's like, but the parking lot's full. It's like, correct. But not all those people will come in.
Sure.
In fact, about a third of them come in, which by the time you do the payout, to get the people in.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, and I've told you this specifically again, Travis, it's like, those events aren't about making the money.
Right.
And it's not, especially not about making the money right here, right now. Because at the end of the day, making money right here, right now, especially with you being like in the real estate game, you know that right here, right now, money is not a thing.
It's not a thing.
Unless you're like on Dordt Highway. Anyway, so
barely even then.
Right. So the money right here, right now, that's a fool's gold. Okay. That's a fool's game to try to get rich quick. It's more about putting the money in, putting the time in.
Right.
And then really, I mean, we're all here to make money, right? That's why we work. That's the way. That's the way of life. However, mine's more of a long-term game in the aspect that it's like, you know what, I'm going to build something that people want. Because at the end of the day, people don't need Cottage Inn pizza. Nobody needs my pizza. There's 15 pizza places in town. There's a million food places in town. At the end of the day, you got to have that want, that desire. You got to have a reason for people to care about you like you care about them.
Right.
So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to sit here and say we're not here to make money.
Yeah,
but right now, I'm here to build an environment in the community.
Right.
I wish that I could buy that whole plaza and put some more fun stuff in.
Right.
At the end of the day, I mean, the hub's great. Like I said, Journeyman's great, but there's not a movie theater here.
Right.
There's not a skating rink here. There's some nice parks. There's some really nice parks. And I'm not even saying that because of the whole thing that's going on.
No,
but this park behind the school here is gorgeous.
Oh, it is.
Right.
And it took me 2 years to find it. And it's like, whoa, where has this been?
Right.
So I wish there was more community involved stuff that was going on, and hopefully we get there. Hopefully we get there.
As a father of 4 young children, I would echo that sentiment.
I agree.
And not to one up you, but 5.
Oh my goodness,
that's perfect. And look at Travis over here.
2.
The minor league over here with 2.
We knew when to say we're done.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, so you're smart.
Right.
Oh, we're smart. I got that on you guys, right?
Investing money in the future.
In the future, right? Yeah. I just got to pick one kid, I guess, unfortunately, to take care of us. I mean, you guys might have a couple more. You can say, hey, we need 2 kids to support me later in life.
Well, I'm so terrible. I had to have multiple kids because I was going to piss one off eventually.
Yeah.
So I got to have a backup there.
Yep.
Well, good. Well, Jason, I also want to thank you, too, on behalf of the Davison Chamber. You've done a lot for us. And when we've come to you and said, hey, we have, especially Festival of Flags, we do an event where we have a family fun day. And when we went to you and said, hey, would you be willing to donate some pizzas? And we've bought some, but you said yes right away. And for us, that means a lot to show that. And you've sponsored some of our lunches, and you've been there to share what's going on. So as a chamber, we appreciate what you're doing with us, just because it does help us grow and interact with the community as well. And I think we're about the partnerships with local businesses, and you're an example of one that we love working with.
I appreciate that very much.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, and I'm going to say it again because it's important for people to listen. This is how you conduct business in a small community, right? And so kudos to you for understanding that you are playing the long game.
Yeah.
It's so refreshing to hear that, because everybody always wants to look at the short-term stuff. What can I do right now? I need this right now. I need to increase sales. I need to do this. And now, again, not that is not an important aspect to your business, right? Nobody's saying that. But on the flip side, you understand, like, I want to be here a long time.
Yeah.
I want to be here a long time. If I'm going to be here a long time, I'm going to invest into that community.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that. Seeing what you do for the high school athletics.
I was just about to say that, the schools here, they're incredible at the end of the day. Some of these smaller schools, like I said, I went to Corona, graduated in 05. So really, I'm pretty happy with what we had available to us. Having that been said, the amount of things that I see that these kids have options to do is the craziest thing. And it's like, without those opportunities being there, they're just not there. You know, I mean, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you miss out on. Davison's doing the hockey, perfect example. They're doing ice hockey. It's like Corona will never have that. It's too small of a town, so it's nice to have that and see that. Dave Beamer's fantastic. Being in a what's their A Jesus? What's Davison division?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Being in the division that Davison is huge.
Yep.
And I know some of these kids, it's like, you know, my kid's good enough. My kid's good enough. It's like, this is D1.
Right.
D1's a big deal, and it's kind of, we have the leaders in Beamer and all the coaching staffs where it's huge that it's one of those things where it's like, listen, I'm not trying to belittle any kids or single any kids out or not give them playing time. However, it's the big leagues.
Right.
Davison's a big deal. D1's always big, and it's like you know, kind of, or Corona's like D5 or something when I was there, you know, and it's like everyone played, and that's fantastic. And me having so many kids I got 5 kids. It's one of those things where I'm a realist.
Right.
If you go to Davison, be expected to be the best, or, you know, go to a different smaller school, which there's nothing wrong with that either.
Nope. Not at
but
all.
The fact that the coaching staff here, they have the mentality where everyone's taken care of.
Right.
The football coach there, Jake, me and him talked quite a bit, or we did talk quite a bit. And he's like, you know, if we win the state championship, I'm bringing you a ring. And I was like, he's like, it's about being involved. He's like, you know, and you're involved. And that is a big deal.
Yeah,
it goes a long way. And it's funny because they do the same thing with their student athletes. So like, if you're involved and we win a ring, you get a ring.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying you're going to start, but you know, if you're involved and you support,
part of the team,
right? Well, part of the team. And that's a big thing because it's like, we are D1, which
it
is
takes
fantastic.
a village, right?
Correct.
It takes a village.
And they acknowledge that. And, you know, it's just being in such a big community is awesome. As far as all the other athletics, we sell them pizzas for cheap. They make some money off the slices. It works out very well. They raise good money. A lot of these kids, I know that, like the Cottage Inn, like I fed the football team subs when they went to Traverse City last year. This year they went to, I think, over Grand Rapids there, if I'm not mistaken. Granville.
Yes.
Correct. So we, we sent subs with them there, and it's like, you know, these kids got to eat.
Right.
And not everyone, you know, a lot of these kids won't pack anything. A lot of these kids can't pack anything.
Right.
So feed them on those journeys. I'm all about that life. Like I said, I love it. So it's a lot of fun.
It is. I agree. Davison takes care of their students. I mean, there's always going to be issues, I think, on a lot of areas, but I think they make sure everyone's provided for, especially when they're traveling, no matter what sports they're in. Because I noticed, even like marching band, I noticed recently, they got a sponsor. I think they got Cottage Inn Pizza, but they had a local other business sponsored, and they chose where to get the food. And I think that was exciting to see that there's businesses willing to sponsor a marching band or another sports activity, but they're spending that money at another local restaurant to help support them, which is, I think
that's a lot of fun. Seeing that was really cool.
Yeah.
So
I think it really is. I think it's full circle where Davison cares about Davison residents and the students and getting out there. So I think what ultimately it's about right here. And that's what we've been trying to create, that atmosphere at the chamber and hopefully getting more involved in other areas too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, is there anything, you know, you've got the platform. So basically I'm going to put you up at a lectern and I'm going to say, you've got the stage. Is there a message you would like to convey to the community, or is there an ask, or is there, you know, you just want to say, thank you, you know, I give you the platform for a minute, you know, take it as you will, but, you know, want to give you an opportunity to at least talk to the community directly.
Yeah. I mean, I would say a thank you is definitely in order. This community has made it very easy to sneak in, to build, to grow. It's honestly incredible, the outcry of support for everything. Like I said, when we do dine and donates and stuff, the amount of people that show up and the amount of people that support, it's honestly one of the craziest things ever to see. You know, they come out of the woodwork, and we'll have people call, like the original dine and donate. Usually a dine and donate's like dine in a portion of those sales from those hours. But we had people call during lunch. Hey, if I order lunch now, like, does part of that go to the dine and donate? I'm like, you know what? Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Same thing with, you know, the dine and donate during the hours. They'll call up and be like, hey, I can't make it up. Can I order delivery? Yes. So it's just the amount of outreach and the amount of support we get from the community is huge. It's ginormous. And it makes it a lot of fun. It's also, I mean, it's nice to see people give us a second try. Like, we all make mistakes, right? So we've had a couple reviews, and I try to reach out to everyone directly. just to see what's going on. Big thing, my cell phone numbers, you can have it. Anyone can have it. It's on my business card that people can take. I like to know what's going on. You don't know what you don't know. I can't fix something if I don't know it's broken.
That's right.
So I get phone calls, or I'll see Facebook reviews or Google reviews, and I reach right out. They're like, "Who is this?" I'm like, "I'm Jason Ford. I own Cottage Inn." They're like, "You own it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Oh, wow, it's cool that you're calling. I'm like, "Well, it's my business, I mean,
right.
I support."
Nobody's going to care like you.
Right, exactly.
Yep. I support 48 employees right now.
Wow.
And then you got to think every one of those people, you count 3 people. So, I directly affect 150 to 300 lives. So it's like, I need to make sure that Travis loved lunch today because, I got people to take care of. I got families to feed. So,
well, I think that you want that input from people. Good experiences and bad experiences to make your business stronger and better.
Yep.
I love that. I think a lot of businesses maybe aren't willing to do that or don't have to make the time for it. So I appreciate you doing that because
I teach my kids that all the time. It's so easy to learn from doing something right, but you learn twice as much when you do it wrong.
Oh, 100%.
So if something's wrong, okay, now we know. Whether they're right, whether they're wrong, whether it was something that was lost in translation, that doesn't matter.
It's irrelevant.
We need to get better.
Yeah.
And whether that's at communicating, whether that's conveying specials, whatever that is, it doesn't matter, but it's an opportunity to improve,
Absolutely.
right?
Exactly.
That's what we're always looking for.
That's what you want.
And I would say an ask, I mean, like I said, appreciative of everything this community has given me and how easy it is to live in this area. It's wild to me. But I mean, an ask, honestly, I mean, next time you're at a small business or at Cottage Inn Pizza, will you just leave a good review if you had a good one?
Yep.
It's crazy. The good reviews, you'll go out and have 10 good experiences in a day and you won't think twice about it. It is what it is. Everything went according to plan.
Sure.
You have one hiccup where your coffee wasn't hot enough and people are just on it.
Yep.
And it's like, man, why can't we spread the positive vibes as well? Hey, I went to the chamber meeting today. It was great. I went to Big Apple Bagel today. Everything was amazing. Pam was so friendly.
That's a great point.
It's
a great point.
Give the kudos where kudos are due as well. I mean, we're all guilty of having a bad experience. And I'm sure everyone in this room is guilty of putting a negative review.
Sure.
But I will openly say that my negative reviews are about 1 to 50 good reviews because I make sure I go out of my way to make a good review.
Sure.
If the food looks fantastic, take a picture and post it. Like the organic exposure, the organic appreciation is huge.
Yes.
It's huge. When you go to look at a place, because I said, hey, check out Cottage Inn Pizza, you're not just going to do it. You're going to look it up online.
Yep.
And the more positive things you see, the better. If I see a 3-star review, it's like, you know what, I'm going to give it an own try because I want my own opinion. Right. However, if it has a 5-star review, I'm going to be like, all right, I'm on the way.
I'm there. Right.
So I will say
that's great. That's great advice. And it's actionable for all of us.
It is.
Yeah. It costs you nothing.
Right.
It doesn't.
It's
you could be sitting
free.
there eating your meal doing it.
Yep.
Which in all reality, that's how simple it is.
Yeah.
You haven't done one
you've
before.
been on your phone the whole time, Travis.
I know, right?
So snap a picture of his desk, will you?
I know, right? Never. I can give Johnny a review right now. Right?
Where's that 5-star review, man? Come on, bro.
Judgment's still out there. I got to figure this out.
I see how it is. That's enough. I need to hit mute on this microphone.
Yeah.
Well, Jason, we know you're an extremely busy gentleman. We are so appreciative that you took the time out today to sit down with us. Man, what a great view into your approach to building not only local relationships, but a local business that is thriving in this area. And it's easy to see now why it is thriving after this conversation. So definitely a round of applause to you, your team, everything that you do behind it, because it feels genuine and it appears genuine. And when it is genuine, these are the type of results that you see. And that means a lot to us, being such huge cheerleaders and huge proponents of our business community. You're doing it right, man. We definitely wish you the best and keep up the good work.
Well, I would say also that my staff has a lot to do with it. I have 6 original employees still, which is a big deal in the food.
Oh, yes.
That's a big one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
We got a lot of good staff right now. So the staff is extremely crucial because a lot of the times, I finally made a hierarchy.
Yep.
And it's one of those things where it's like, guys, it's not that I'm more important than anyone. It's just that I can't go through every single thing. So having the right staff that handles things are huge. They'll come back and say, this person missed a crust. And I'm like, I've got 16 things going on right now.
Right.
You passed 2 managers. Can you ask one of them to help you out real quick? So having the staff is definitely a big deal, especially front of house.
Yep.
So.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Travis, anything in closing, my friend?
No, Jason, I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship. I think that's what I've enjoyed most, is just getting to know you. And like when we see each other, we can catch up and just say hi to each other. And learn what's going on. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me.
All right. Well, until next week's episode, and who knows what that'll be because I am not very organized. We will see you next time. I am Johnny B. Good, the Flip Flop Agent, joined by
Travis Howell, the director of the Davison Chamber.
All right. We will see you next time on the Community Collective. Bye-bye.